I have two insane things to share with you today. So we're going to talk about Kathleen Maher, the CEO of NPR. She just testified this morning here within the last hour, trying to keep the whatever $100 million that the federal government pays them every year. Even though she acknowledges that they make $6 for every dollar, so they're making seven or have 700 million income. So I don't know why they need 100 million from the feds. But anyway, two crazy things. One is she is completely lying, which I think most people know. And I'll play this little clip here of her talking about how NPR is unbiased and truth seeking. And then I'll show you a video of her from 11 months ago where she's giving a TED talk trying to convince people that you should not have truth in the news because everyone has their own truth, which is just total craziness, which has led us to where we are now in politics. But also, the other crazy thing is the graphic for this video. I tried to run graphics about NPR on ChatGPT, and it would just simply say, "I'm sorry, I can't help you." So it's just crazy that ChatGPT is blocking certain graphics from being made because they are clearly trying to be biased as well. I ran the same graphics on Grok, and no problem, instantly gave it out. So props to Grok and truth-seeking AI. So here's the clip of her trying to talk about how awesome NPR is.
Essential role of public media in delivering unbiased, nonpartisan, fact-based reporting to Americans. Americans listen to public radio as they commute, as they work, and in the kitchen as they cook with family. Nearly 100% of Americans live within range of a public radio station. We cover what matters to local communities: crop prices, cook-offs, and local sports teams, alongside news of the nation and the world, from the halls of Congress to coverage of our troops overseas. Today, Americans have more media choices than ever. The rise of podcasting has established a competitive free market for audio news and information. And every day, I am honored to know that we have 43 million listeners from every state in the nation. Amidst this competition, local stations choose to become members of NPR for the value we provide. For example, we are the only non-paywalled news outlet with a dedicated reporter covering veterans issues. While NPR is only 25% of station programming on average, audiences for NPR bring the scale and revenue that subsidize essential local programming.
I thought that was interesting. She's talking about veteran issues. I've listened to NPR for years and years, and I can't hardly remember any time they talked about veterans issues, unless it was something that was viral in the media. It was usually always the, left-leaning, um, empowering women, empowering every minority, going into the whole DEI of the last few years.
Local public media journalism has never been more important to American families, who consider it part of the fabric of their communities. It correlates with higher rates of civic engagement, greater civic cohesion, and economic advantages, such as better.
Also, highly disagree. I believe a lot of the anger and frustration right now is people were so disconnected from reality going into the last election. That's why people are just angry and expressing all this anger without a reason, because they were basically said, "Hey, we're going into this, whatever utopian of Kamala and whatever she was supposed to do." And people have no idea that most Americans are not happy with what's going on. They're not happy with all of, from Disney to NPR to everything being shoved down everyone's throat. You turn on TV and you think we live in Africa because every ad and everything has to be non-white males, pretty much every advertisement. And it's just everybody's sick of it. Everybody jokes about it and tries to laugh it off, but enough is enough. It's been years of this garbage.
Municipal bond ratings. Recent independent polling found that more than 60% of all Americans and more than half of Republicans trust public broadcasting to deliver.
I don't even think there's 60% of Americans who know what NPR is. All right, so let's jump over. The rest is just fluff trying to say NPR is great, keep giving us money. So here is Kathleen from 11 months ago talking about how news should not lead with truth, and that truth, everyone has their own truth. And that leads to all this chaos we've had with people blatantly lying, trying to push their lies on everybody. Gender doesn't matter. Accountability doesn't matter. Everybody's got a sob story and everybody's a victim.
That they are onto something. That perhaps for our most tricky disagreements, Seeking the truth and seeking to convince others of the truth might not be the right place to start. In fact, our reverence for the truth might be a distraction that's getting in the way of finding common ground and getting things done. One of the things that we could all acknowledge is that part of the reason we have such glorious chronicles to the human experience in all forms of culture is because we acknowledge there are many different truths.
All right, guys. So yeah, you can look up her whole speech if you want, but just this whole idea that the truth doesn't matter, and that's exactly, this was 11 months ago, and we have people screaming here the last few weeks that we have to have censorship, we cannot have free speech, that's what the problem is. Like it's just total insanity. It makes no sense. You can watch her whole video, but it's basically gobbledygook. It's just her saying truth doesn't matter. Like people can, everybody can have a different truth, and that's okay, and your facts don't matter, and blah blah blah. So her saying this 11 months ago, and then going, testifying today that NPR is all about truth and being fair and showing both sides, is just total and utter garbage. I really hope they cancel the public funding. They don't need the public funding. They don't even have an argument on why they need the money. It's just so unbelievably ridiculous.